Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight we are doing our first Ennio Morricone score for A Fistful of Dollars, and I guess our first Clint Eastwood movie as well. That's
Yes.
exciting.
We will
Welcome,
be.
Melissa Harris, as always, and Matthew Flynn. How are things in England? I feel so special when people from different countries show up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're
How
getting
are you
quite.
tonight, H Boomer?
I'm doing well. So pity we couldn't do it last week. You got snowed in though, right?
Well, we had snow and ice, and just threw my schedule out of whack, and just trying to catch up. And
What state do you live in again?
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay.
Yeah,
Figure that's the South, right?
I'm northern Alabama, so it's
Okay.
south of Tennessee, but north of Florida.
Okay. And it was snowing.
Yeah, we got 4 inches
Okay.
Tuesday, and then I got 4 inches again Wednesday night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jedi,
I got the wolf pack fed and put to bed, and I watched something on YouTube for like half an hour, and I'm like, let me just look outside. Everything was white in like 30 minutes.
was
Wow.
what do you call it? Was the wind howling?
Not so much.
Okay.
Just pouring snow. Hello, Matthew. Jedi Masters Utopia. Thank you for coming by. How are you tonight?
Okay. Melissa Harris. Agent Boomer, Sunday, I hope you talk about Zack Snyder's Blasphemous Joker. We'll see. I haven't even looked at that article yet. Maybe we can bring it up. Okay.
I thought that was the Crow in that movie. Are you sure it's Joker? It looks like the Crow to me.
I don't know. I haven't even. I got to be blunt with you. I cover topics because they're news. I could give two figs about the Snyder cut. I don't care about the DC expanded universe, whatever they're calling it anymore. I just don't. It's not. Okay, I'll be good. I got to feign interest. Okay, for Sunday.
I will probably watch the movie because I'm curious to see it.
None of them have been good. I think the best one was probably Aquaman because it was at least visually interesting. But it's not. No, I feel like I keep getting stuck watching these things. I still haven't watched Suicide Squad though. I've avoided that one.
You probably should.
I don't know. Anyways, but we got classic movie tonight. This is A Fistful of Dollars. Okay.
And this was your pick. And once again, you have broadened my horizons on films. Thank you.
Oh yeah. You'll they get better too. This is a quote unquote trilogy. And I like the sequel better, and then we get the wonderful epic, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and they're all three
Which is
are
like
great.
4 hours long. I hear.
Yes, I think there's an intermission, so if we ever do it, we could do it in a 2-week.
Yes.
Do one half 1 week, the other half the next week. But
and I learned from doing research on this film, it's like jumping into the deep end of the pool with lead bricks on your feet. There is so much out there on these films. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This and it goes into Japanese samurai films and
yeah.
lawsuits and
Yojimbo, right? That was the Kurosawa movie.
Yes.
I have a Kurosawa box set I bought from the Criterion Collection many years ago when I when I just would throw money around. Okay, and I bought this Kurosawa box set. Came in this orange and blue felt box, and had every Kurosawa movie except for 4. Okay. All of them were in this thing. Okay. And I need to one day, if I ever get the time, just sit down once a week, watch a Kurosawa movie. I need to get caught up. Dreams wasn't included, though eventually Criterion did release Akira Kurosawa's Dreams on DVD, and I did pick that one up. But that was a separate release. But apparently, I don't know what this box set is going for. I know that if I still had it in the wrapping, I think it was going for like $2,000 at some point. Okay, because this must be a real collector's item. No, of course not. Because I intend to watch them at some point, But the only thing I didn't like about it was that none of the DVDs had special features. It was just the base movie. But you got a lot of bang for your buck. I think I paid like $200 for it when I got it, and had it's a lot of movies. Okay.
George Lucas was even inspired by his films for Star Wars.
A lot of people love the Japanese samurai movies, especially the Kurosawa movies. They're on my bucket list of things to watch. Since then, I've gotten the Blind Swordsman set. That was another Japanese like samurai type
picture.
picture.
In The Bodyguard? Was that the film he was watching in The Bodyguard?
I've never seen The Bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
Is that any good?
Okay. Were you not in high school in the 90s?
Was it the one with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston?
Yeah, and Whitney
I've
Houston,
never seen it, but I knew of it. Yes.
Okay.
And I also have the Lone Wolf and Cub Criterion set too, so I need to get around to watching that. Which apparently the Mandalorian ripped off, but you know.
I wonder if there's gonna be a lawsuit over that.
No, there won't be. They probably changed it up. It's more of an homage or homage. Okay. Homage, if I'm quoting Liam Neeson from the Deadpool, which was the last Dirty Harry movie, another Clint Eastwood movie. He goes, "It's a homage."
Oh, you said Deadpool. I was thinking of Ryan Reynolds. So.
Yes. Oh, let me take that. The one thing I don't like, I am going to put the earbud back in, but I don't like having the earbud underneath the headphone. But yeah, this is Fistful of Dollars. I grew up with this movie. I think I caught this. I don't know if I caught this on TV or if I was lucky enough that we had a VHS of it. Okay, I think maybe we had a VHS of it. In fact, maybe I bought the VHS of it. Maybe I was buying the Dollar Trilogy and I was getting it because I think either me and my brother bought it. And we had this, and also Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that came on a 2 VHS tape set. But it all starts here. And this is kind of smaller scale than the movies we get later. I mean, they really do expand out with each sequel to the point where you really are in epic territory when you get the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But it's a good small film. It's a good Western. I don't know if this is the first quote unquote spaghetti Western. I know this might have been the first many people have saw. I would argue that. And different take on the Western. Okay. I was watching a little documentary on it. They said at this point, you know, the Hollywood Western was getting kind of stale. They wanted to inject new life into it. And we don't necessarily have the they say in a lot of like the John Wayne style Westerns and the Westerns that came before this, you had almost a lot of the times like a chivalric knight type character, except in the Old West, right? Whereas we're not necessarily getting that in this movie, but I would still argue he's on the side of right in this movie, though he's getting paid to be. But
now, one critique of the film I saw said this is actually the last film in the trilogy, not the first, because they're kind of out of order.
What's out of order?
The movies in the order in which they came out.
What do you mean they're out of order?
Last one.
This is supposed to be the.
This is supposed to be the last one. Good, Bad, and Ugly should be the first one, and the middle one is the middle one still.
Wait a minute. Who says this?
Oh, some review guy I listened to.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is okay. Go ahead.
He did like a 30 or 45-minute spill on it, and I'm like, well, this is really interesting.
No.
Get Boomer's take on this.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, here's the deal. This is the big thing about these being a quote unquote trilogy. Okay, are they a trilogy or is this Clint Eastwood just playing a similar character in 3 different movies? I don't know. Okay, I don't like this idea. Maybe it's because maybe it's because the American cavalry shows, or there's like something with the American cavalry in this movie, and maybe they weren't wearing those kind of uniforms pre-Civil War. I don't know. Okay, we're overthinking this. Okay, this is if we're talking about for historical accuracy, I don't know how much we're going to be getting it in these movies because this is an Italian view of the United States in the Old West, and that's fine. But it's kind of like I almost sometimes think it's how like how we may view another culture's history. It may be kind of skewed because we're not of that culture. Do you understand? It's the same thing here. You know, like don't get me started on like Mortal Kombat and its take on Chinese mythology. You know, and I like Mortal Kombat, but it plays fast and loose with some things. Okay, whereas you know, and it's not even so much about being disrespectful, maybe just not being completely accurate. Like, I don't know how accurate these movies are. I don't, that's not why I'm watching them. It's a myth. Okay. It's a myth of the old Wild West. Okay. And I don't like this one being the last movie because it's smaller scale. Okay. I like this being the starter.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Hello.
They're all
Andrew.
good.
Thanks for coming by. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Thanks thanks for coming. What are your thoughts on Ennio Morricone?
Well, we should start the movie in a couple minutes, but let's see.
Yeah,
Agent Boone, Aquaman is good for at least one reason. No identity politics for intersectional fascination. Aside from that, it's a bit over the top at times. Yeah, it wasn't. In fact, I would argue I don't know that any. I'm trying to think if any of the. I mean, I didn't see. Well, actually, no. We had Birds of Prey. Strike that. But I was thinking. I don't know if they were necessarily being overtly political. They just weren't very good. Okay. Beyond just even the whole deconstruction stuff the professor would talk about, I just didn't. They're not fun. Okay. But Aquaman, I think, was the best of them. Yes. Okay.
The only good thing I can say about Aquaman is Amber Heard. Before I knew she was totally cray.
Oh, we might be talking about her on Sunday. Yeah. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess everyone wants us to talk. I'll look into the Jared Leto Joker. Hopefully that's isn't what Snyder is going for. I do try to be objective even with things I don't like. But anyway, okay. The Untouchables.
For Andrew, do you have the La La Land release of the Untouchables with a complete score that I completely missed out on? Just curious if you have it and what your thoughts are on it.
Oh, I didn't know they released one. The Untouchables has been a score I've thought about picking up, but I guess I couldn't find it. I didn't realize La La Land put one out. I love the Al Capone theme.
Oh, it's expensive now. Oh my lord.
Okay, the Al Capone
you have
theme.
It, yes. Andrew, I hate you. Not really, but I hate you for having it.
We should maybe do we should rewatch the Untouchables at some point. I love the Al Capone theme for that movie. Just I don't know. I like that whole story, the Untouchables, the Prohibition, good versus evil storyline. That's another thing. But
and if Professor Geek ever gets me on his hero show, I put Elliot Ness on my list of heroes that we're going to discuss.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. I might narrow it down to 4 if you can. Depends on how long. Because I even with 4, I was going over. Yeah. What?
I think I gave him 6. That was about as
well. If you move through in a fast enough clip.
Yeah. You know.
But yeah, Elliot Ness is a good one actually. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to sync up your movie?
Yes.
What's the first thing you see on your movie? Do you see Metro Golden Mare?
I see Elizabeth Olsen. Oh, that's my screensaver. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's a nice screensaver.
I have a blank screen of just nothing.
And does the movie start right after, or does the MGM logo come up?
I'm pressing play right.
I want to see because I don't want us to be out of sync.
MGM just popped up with the line.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to try to go back to. Okay. This is a very nice set. I noticed that there's this big trend of United Artists movies now having the MGM logo in front of them now. This used to be a United Artists logo movie, like the Bond movies, the same thing, because I guess that was more of an international distributor. But all right, I'm going to plug my earbud in and okay.
You got the psychedelic stuff going on?
Yeah, you're gonna hit play. When do you want to hit play? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I thought we already hit play.
Start again. Go back.
Okay.
We'll do 3, 2, 1.
I'm at 0-0.
Okay. All right. 3.
Hello, Big Al. We're about to hit play. 1.
3.
Play.
Wait. 3, 2,
2,
1.
Play. Okay.
There we go. MGM Lion, always a classic.
Yes.
It's funny in the beginning of Ben-Hur, the lion does not roar because they thought it would be disrespectful. But I don't know. I thought that would have worked well for Ben-Hur, especially with that story. Okay, but here we have the like I said, it used to be the United Artists logo. I love this intro. This is the main track. I won't torture people with my rendition, but anyway, what?
The guy doing the whistling has a name, and it is. I wrote down. I found it. Alessandro Alessandrini, and no, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but that's the guy that did the whistling on this.
Okay.
And this is very psychedelic, I think. For
well, this is the '60s. They were making a point that I watched the making of, and that basically that the kids were not identifying with like a lot of the old time, like the John Waynes or the Gary Coopers or whatnot. They they were wanting, I think, a more real Western or something. So, you have kind of this, it really gets in your face. You got guys getting shot in the intro, I mean,
That's true. Although I thought the violence in this film was
pretty what?
subdued. I mean, when the guys are getting mowed down by the machine gun, there's like, they just fall over.
Okay,
like,
you say subdued. Well, by modern standards, I suspect when this came out, that was pretty scandalous levels of violence. Okay, I mean, even though you're not seeing the bullet shots going into them, it's still pretty horrendous what's going on in this movie. Yeah, and actually, that can. It's a good lesson, though. You can still get the same effect without showing the gore. Not that I mind gore either, but look at this. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so the La La Land Untouchables is $160 on Discogs tonight. There's only one copy available.
So, and how much is it? $168.
$160. Yep.
Yep. I thought
$5 shipping.
I was telling Daniel earlier, I got the for a few dollars more soundtrack and the Danger Diabolique soundtrack for $44.99 off of a vendor on eBay, because that one's been hard to find too, and I've been wanting that one to add because I have the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack, my old soundtrack, and I just recently got Fistful of Dollars, and I wanted to get for a few dollars more, but the one I wanted was in the double pack with Danger Diabolique. So, okay. I love that intro thing.
I still don't get this "We Can Fight" chorus that's going on in here. That's like the only detractor for me.
You don't like that?
I don't. I'm like, why is this here?
Oh, why is there voice? Well, you find voice samples in other Morricone scores. Not sometimes not literally words, but yeah, you'll hear voice. You'll hear voices in the scores of a lot of his things. Like especially if I ever get you to watch one of these giallos, like he'll.
I'm fine with chorus. Hello, Sound Engraver. By the way, thank you for stopping by.
Hi, Sound Engraver.
I'm fine with chorus, but like "We Can Fight," I don't understand why that's in the film, and why is it not in Italian? Maybe if it was in Italian, it would sound sexier.
Okay, well, for starters, when they would make these movies, they are intending to sell these all over the world, not just in Italy or not even just in Europe. They want to sell it to the United States, Canada. They want to sell it to South America. This is why they would try to get American or English leads in a lot of these movies. This is a horrible town. You can tell from the get-go.
Yeah, I'm like, why the hell are you shooting at a child? One, don't waste your bullets. Two, why are you shooting at a child?
These are
Maybe
bad.
That's in the wrong order. But
these are bad men.
Why doesn't Papa shoot these guys? I'm like, if you
I don't
shot
know.
My child, I mean,
it's okay. Well, for starters, does he have a gun for starters? And secondly,
well, if I lived in the Old West, I would have a gun.
It's explained later on. Oh man, they said it was a little on the nose, but the child's name is Jesus. I think the father's name is Joseph. The woman is Mary. Okay, there might be a little. I never even noticed that before. I'm watching the making of, but this is already bad. Okay, you have these nasty, and I think these are Mexicans. Okay. Now, to be fair, there are plenty of other spaghetti westerns
where they're Italian, plain Mexican,
or Spanish, yes. But you'll have other spaghetti westerns where it's the gringos that are being the bad guys to the Mexicans too. So the hat changes. Okay, so it's not always one sided. Okay.
Now that lady right there, Marianne Koch, she's German. She only speaks German.
Interesting.
Yes.
A lot of the time
and later in life, she became an MD doctor.
Oh, well, good for her.
Yeah, I'm like, good for you.
It's tough doing a second career. It's funny. One actress in one of my Lucio Fulci movies, she became a lawyer after she was done with her acting career. So,
I mean, you got to do something.
All right.
What was So, like, as you mentioned before, like, we both came across this information. This is Ennio Morricone's least favorite film score.
I know. I can read from the article, but I want to make a point. Oh, man. This is another sign that this is turn around and leave this town, right? Check this out. Okay. I'm sorry. The man on the horseback, okay? He's riding. He's not saying hi to him. What's up? You know, he's got the sombrero on. Oh, wait, look, back sign on the back. Adios, amigo. Oh my! They mounted a corpse to the horse. Okay, it's like get out of here. And I keep trying to figure out where this is taking place. Is this a town in the United States? Is it in Mexico?
It's on the border.
Is it on the very border? Is like the line between the town of the U.S. and when is this taking place? Like, is this a state that hasn't been annexed yet? I don't know. Okay. And here's the bell ringer. Okay, not the Rojos, maybe the Baxters. Okay. This guy's a whack job. Anyway, so I was going to bring up that point what Morricone said. All right. Okay.
Why did he did like 500 film scores. I mean, ponder that from 500 film scores. That's insane. That's John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, James Horner, Bernard Herrmann, and probably Alan Silvestri. Total output for one person.
It's a lot of scores. That's why he's my favorite prolific. Out of someone who's made a lot, he's my favorite of people who've done a lot. Why did A Fistful of Dollars make such an impact? This is a quote from the article. I don't know. It's the worst form Leone made, and the worst score I did. But there are other films I wrote music for that had bigger success. The Mission, Once Upon a Time in America, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly are all better. Okay, so I don't. But after the success of the Westerns, commissions came flooding in. Morricone knocked it out of the park with dark and brooding scores for bloody Italian crime genre known as giallo. I love those scores. Those are my favorite of his, actually. Named after the yellow pages of Italian pulps, paperbacks, he wrote music for the films of Pier Paolo Pasolini, who was said to be so worried about Morricone's reaction to the depravity depicted in his film Salò that he refused to show the composer any rushes. It wasn't my taste, says Morricone, who only saw the film once it was completed. I've never seen Salò. I've been a little... I kind of don't want to go there. You know? Okay, sound engraver. Well, good luck with the music. Okay.
In the credits, Morricone's credited as Dan Savio, Savio. He didn't go by his name for whatever reasons in the credits.
Dan Savio. Okay.
I couldn't find a reason for it. I saw it. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Okay, here's
Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy. Was he in this?
Should I know who Sylvester McCoy is?
Oh, I knew who he was. He played the 7th Doctor Who. He also played Radagast in the Hobbit prequel movies that were made.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I knew who he was because I knew he was going to be in it prior, and I was like, who's he playing? Okay, so because I knew him from playing Doctor Who, but nobody works anymore. This is a horrible place.
Andrew brings up a good point. In my research, I thought that was supposed to be for the final gunfight. Leon wanted that piece of music for the gunfight, but Morricone was like, "No, if you do that, I'm bouncing from the project." And
really, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I read a couple interviews with Morricone, and he sounds like a grumpy guy.
Well, he's had to work every day of his life. I'm sorry.
Well, so have I.
I don't know. My point is that, he finishes one film score in 12 hours. He's got to make another one from midnight to noon. I don't know. I don't know why he's a grumpy guy. I will say this. I know that in Italy, I don't know if this is the same for the film composers, but like the directors would get a set salary, but they didn't make the kind of money Hollywood directors did. If you were making a movie in Italy, I mean, you could make a living at it, but you weren't going to be rich like the Hollywood directors. And basically, you're making it for the love of making movies a lot of the time over there.
Imagine that. Do something because you just enjoy doing it.
Yes. But like Mario Bava, they said he kept making movies till he was retired. Okay, because until he was too old to make them anymore, because he needed the work. That's it, you know. But yeah. So this was. Go ahead.
For doing 500 films, I mean, a lot of them were foreign films by our standards because they weren't released here.
Foreigners. Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say?
He won 1 Oscar for The Hateful Eight, which was a Tarantino film, which I've never seen. Go
ahead.
He got nominated for Melina, Bugsy, Untouchables, The Mission, and Days of Heaven. Not a whole lot of Oscar nominations.
No, well, he may have been up against intense competition too. I mean, this is the era of Goldsmith, John Williams. I'm sure that could be part of the reason too. I think they gave him the award for Hateful Eight, though. Probably, I mean, it was a good score, but I'm sure it's a lifetime award too.
Yeah.
It's like Hateful Eight.
Is Bernard Herrmann grumpy, Andrew? Is he? Kind of joking there. He can be kind of grumpy.
I don't know. Bernard Herrmann, though, he's the we did Psycho. We've done a score by him. We will have to do more Bernard Herrmann at some point, though. He's considered the greatest film composer of all time. Bernard Herrmann is.
I don't know about that.
Bernard Herrmann is considered the greatest movie composer of all time. I'm just saying. That's what
chat. What does the chat say?
I don't know. I might be tempted to have you watch Reanimator on Halloween time, because the guy that did the score to that is a spoof of the Psycho theme. And he said that he got all sorts of angry letters from the Bernard Herrmann Society over that movie.
I saw that movie on TV on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I didn't realize a lot of stuff was cut out. And so years later, Toy Galaxy was doing a YouTube review on the action figure from Reanimator. And I was like, oh, they cut a lot of stuff out of that film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they probably on regular TV, I'm sure. When this... I used to catch this on regular TV, too, even if I owned the tape.
I could see this on TBS very well.
TBS, they had it on like... before the WB was the WB, whatever channel that was, they would show these on there. That's how I caught a lot of these. I think I started watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and I couldn't finish watching because I had to get to bed, so I recorded the rest of it, when it was on regular TV. Oh, no, I remember now. They put it on 2 nights in a row. They did one half one night and the other half the next night. That's how I caught it. And I loved it so much, I had to get the VHS tape.
See, I love the music right here. I love the horn.
What is this? What is this called?
And he's just gonna like walk up into a gunfight like a badass, and
I'm trying to figure out what some of these themes are. Okay, this is my favorite scene in the whole movie. Okay, because it's my mule. He didn't get the joke, It's like, and they're laughing, but then at the same time they're not laughing. Okay, because they know this guy intends violence. Okay, I love the Baxter's men. They have all different accents. Some are like a Mexican accent, and others a Texan accent. So they must be pulling like these bad men from all around the United States and Mexico to work for them. It's like.
Now I read Clint Eastwood got sick from all these cigars he had to chew on.
Interesting. Outlaw Josie Wells, he has chewing tobacco instead of a cigar. I wonder if that was done on purpose.
He got paid, what was it, 25? He got paid $15,000.
$15,000, yep.
Yeah.
Makes you think they're laughing at him. Okay, I saw these as a kid. What do you think
about that shot with the camera like right behind the gun?
Perfect.
What do you think about that?
I love that shot because it focuses on the men, right? But also the action of the gun. That's, I mean, you're realizing this guy is very good with a revolver. Okay, okay. Now I wonder who John Baxter is. Is John Baxter an American? This must be right on the border. That's probably what's going on here. This must be right on the border, still in the United States, because he says he's the sheriff, unless they had sheriffs in Mexico as well. I don't know. But he has an American sounding name. I think he's married to a Mexican woman, though. That's the impression I get. But okay, my mistake. 4 coffins.
Well, this would coffin guy stays busy.
Well, that would happen though. It didn't happen like after like the what is it the we had wars with Mexico and then we ended up getting territory, right? And I guess any Mexicans living in that territory, congratulations, you're Americans now. So
pretty much. I mean, Texas Texas got its independence, and then they joined the Union after that.
And these are the Rojas.
Matthew Flynn brings up the Magnificent Seven. Have you seen that film?
Have I seen the Magnificent Seven? I want to say I've seen it in pieces. I think I own that one? I might own it. I need to watch it. Okay.
Did you see the remake with Denzel?
I did. I need to watch the original though. I don't think I've ever seen Magnificent Seven. I think it was one of these movies it's always been on my docket to watch. I just never have done it. I did watch the remake with Denzel Washington. It's all right. I think I might like the original more, though.
It was James Horner's final film score, unfortunately.
It was. Okay, it's not a bad film. I'd have to compare it to the original. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen the original one, though.
What was it, though? Yeah, you know, it was good enough. It was good. It was good. But what else? I'm trying to think. Magnificent Seven. I still have to watch The Wild Bunch. Okay, I've had that. I have movies on my shelf that say watch me, and I just don't have the time. I have Once Upon a Time in the West. That's another one. I did watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though. Have you seen that? Eastwood movies. Film? That's a Tarantino movie, yeah.
No.
Interesting thing. DiCaprio plays a actor he's an actor who specialized in doing a lot of television westerns in his youth, and now he's trying to break out into regular movies. And his agent tells him to go that an Italian director wants him, and he gets all mad and he says, "I'm not doing no Italian Western." And he's yelling at the Brad Pitt character in it. And of course, he eventually does have to go do them. But I almost imagine that I don't think the character's supposed to be Clint Eastwood, but that's sort of how Clint Eastwood got his start, because he had these roles. Like I think his first big break was on Rawhide, right? The Western television show.
TV show. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they showed it to Morricone because they said we need a cheap actor, because I think he originally wanted James Coburn for this role, but it was too expensive. And I think they had to settle for Clint Eastwood. And I think this kind of made Eastwood's career in a lot of ways. This movie.
Now, this movie was made for $200,000. The rights to the film for the U.S. they paid $900,000 for them. So if you just take that, that's a nice little profit right there.
Oh yeah,
that's $700,000.
Oh, the original Magnificent Seven is amazing. Score by Elmer Bernstein. I really do have to watch it now. I love Elmer Bernstein's scores. In fact, we did Black Cauldron right? We did the score for that, yeah. We are going to have to watch Heavy Metal at some point. I have to score to that one as well. Now they keep talking about the cavalry, and I keep thinking it's going to be the American cavalry, right? But it's the Mexican cavalry.
I mean, cavalry is just mounted troops. I mean,
so that's right. So yeah, so it's they wear white uniforms as opposed to the blue uniforms. I'm assuming that's because of the heat. Maybe it reflects the sun.
I would think so. Yeah.
Hold on, but I got to get the. I think the full score. Let me find out what the total is on the time for this one.
I read there is no full score available even today, which kind of surprised me.
What did I spend all this money for?
The best release is by G. GDM, which is a German manufacturer. It's got 17 tracks on it.
Yeah, that's the one I have. 17 tracks.
Which one you have? Okay.
But they must have released it in Italy because this has it's written in Italian. And I think it was like total was 38 minutes.
Yeah, it's not long.
Here we go. The title of this track is Square Dance, and I tried finding more on this track, and it's just no one said anything. It sounds like a square dance, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I was thinking kind of like a Copeland-esque ballet.
Yeah. It's funny. In some ways, I find this to be the slowest of the three, even though it's the shortest movie. You know?
I don't know. 4-hour movies like making my ooh, I can't imagine that.
We'll cut it in half. It's okay when we get to it at some point. In fact, I might argue for a while, Good, the Bad, the Ugly score was my favorite film score of all time. Okay, I remember when I first heard it. I don't know that it still is, but it's definitely in top 10. And it's because I've heard a lot of scores since then. But when I was a kid, I heard that my dad had the LP of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack, and I was like, I would listen to it over and over again. And then he had another LP that I think had mixed Morricone tracks on it that had the Fistfull of Dollars music on it, and also the For a Few Dollars More music on it. And I think my dad lost those LPs because we were having a garage sale and we were moving from New Jersey, and he had 2 piles of vinyl records, one to sell at the garage sale, one to bring home, and they put the wrong one out at the garage sale. Are you hearing what I just said?
Yeah.
I think the Star Wars LP got lost. I think he had the original Star Wars LP that was released back in the 70s. That was gone. I felt bad for him when they did the re-releases of the special editions of the movies. I bought him those for birthdays and Father's Days. I got him the trilogy re-release scores when they came out in '97. I felt bad that.
Did I send you a Western soundtrack for Christmas?
No.
Was it on LP? Was it The Great Train Robbery?
Oh, you did. Yeah, I
okay.
don't think of The Great Train Robbery as a Western, but I guess it is.
Is that not a Western film?
It might be. I don't know. I would argue that's a caper. That's a caper movie.
That takes place in the West.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it is. I've never actually seen The Great Train Robbery. I know that I think Kino put out a re-release of it on Blu-ray, which is now fetching a pretty penny. But Siskel and Ebert Gene Siskel did not like that movie. He thought it was too drawn out. But that was actually directed by Michael Crichton.
Really?
The author. I think he directed the movie. Okay. Don't worry, I didn't dirty the sheets. That's
yeah, this guy's so encouraging.
But yeah, the reason he smokes a lot in these movies is that I guess in Italy in the 60s, being able to smoke a lot was a sign of masculinity, like being in control. Whereas I guess now it might be the opposite, but nowadays too, they have prop cigarettes and cigars actors can use that look just like the real thing, but they don't actually, like I know on Mad Men they use them a lot.
Now this part kind of surprised me when I first watched it. I'm like, well, that's what I call a double cross. I wasn't seeing this coming.
This is a fairly ruthless double cross, okay?
Yeah.
So what's going on here? They're trading gold for guns? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is particularly ruthless, okay?
Yeah, I just felt this looked kind of hokey, but I'm looking at this by, today's standards.
Looking at it by today's standards, I'm sure back then, like, I don't know if you would see anything like this in a Hollywood movie. Like I said, I do need to watch at least of the time. I mean, obviously Hollywood starts seeing the spaghetti westerns. They start picking up influence of by
Why
that.
was this
They get
movie rated? Um, I realized the rating system was different back then.
no, I don't know if it had a rating. In fact, let me find out what it was. I don't know what it is now. But that's a good point about ratings because for a while we just didn't have ratings. Anybody could go into any movie. Hold on, let me see what it's rated. Yeah, lots of guys getting shot. Okay, where is the rating for this? Find out. Originally rated.
R. Rated
Not
R.
not in the 60s. Come on. Maybe it is now.
I would call this just a PG movie. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't make an R rating on this doesn't make any sense. There's not even language. There's no F bombs or anything, so I don't know what the R rating is for. They're shooting. Of course, if I'm to quote Todd McFarlane, he once said that you could shoot a movie in a cemetery at night, and all the actors are doing are having tea and crumpets in the cemetery, and Hollywood will give you an R rating. Okay, the MPAA will give you an R rating if they're just eating tea and crumpets in the cemetery at midnight. Okay.
Matthew Flynn has a question for you, Age Boomer.
Ask
That's
away.
actually a good question.
Ask
Is
away.
The Mask of Zorro a Western?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I would actually. It's a Western. I consider Zorro a superhero, though. Okay.
So Jonah Hex would be a Western, but he's also a superhero.
Well, I don't know. Jonah Hex would be a Western. See, here's the thing with Zorro, though. Zorro wears the mask. He has a cave he operates out of. He's a mask. He's a mask Avenger. I don't. I don't know what I would throw. I might.
Okay. I wear a mask when I go out, and I have 2 capes. So
Well, okay.
I'm a superhero.
Look, my point is that Zorro is a superhero as far as I'm concerned. So maybe I might throw that into the superhero genre. I might have made it an adventure movie, but yeah, I could argue it's a Western. It takes place in the West, right? I mean, it's because I think you could even have Westerns that take place in Mexico. Okay. There's actually a spin-off of the spaghetti Western, which is the Mexican Revolutionary movie. Okay. Which was take place in Mexico during their many different revolutions, and it's those you think this movie's dark, you have no idea. Okay. I almost want to argue it's like proto-communist revolutions they're having down there, and like they're finding the rich families and executing them and stuff. And
they did have a communist revolution.
Okay, well that makes sense. That must be what it's based on.
It's like 1890, I think.
Okay, that must be what they're based on.
I know they killed a bunch of Catholic priests during it.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Now the actor playing Ramon. Let me find out. John Wells. I don't know if that might be his actual name. They said he was more of like a big deal stage actor, more theatrical. I think he was a big deal over in Europe, but he's playing Ramon, and they said they wanted to balance the two actors, like how Eastwood's character is very reserved and quiet, doesn't say much. Ramon's kind of the opposite, as the villain, more bombastic, more emotional.
Yeah. Bloodthirsty.
That filthy Americano. That's like one of the Medal of Honor games, like that certain German group whenever people hear them, they'd say, the Americana, as they're shooting at you. So, what do you think, though? You agree with Ramon about having a rifle versus a pistol?
Um,
A lot of gun talk in this movie, right?
I mean, hmm, they're both useful. If I'm going to carry something all day on me, it's going to be a pistol. A rifle gets in the way if you got to carry it all day long.
Mm. I'll say this though: I used to have this Western-themed video game for the Super Nintendo called Sunset Riders, and there were four different the three cowboys and like one Mexican like cowboy with the sombrero, and the Mexican had the shotgun, and so did one of the other cowboys, and I would always pick one of them because I preferred the shotgun in the game to the pistols, you know.
Andrew brings up a good point about Yo Jimbo. They got in some trouble. There was a lawsuit, and they had to pay 15% of the profits to how do you say the
Kurosawa.
Yeah, he got 15% of the profits from this film because they ripped him off.
So this is a remake of Yojimbo, which I need to watch at some point. Yeah, in the television series Westworld, when they when you get to see some of the other parks, and of course one of the other parks is of course based on samurai Japan era. Okay, you know.
Yeah, the Critical Drinker made a video about Westworld. I think it was season 2. He's like, "Remember Westworld? Remember season 1?
Yeah.
Did you ever want to see a samurai fight a cowboy? No, you didn't. Then why are we seeing it?"
I didn't hate season 2, but from what I've heard, season 3 drops the ball big time. I kept thinking of other parks, and I kept thinking one of those parks was going to be a Disney princess style park, and I don't even want to know what people were doing in that park. Okay, like there would be like the park no one wanted to work at, and it would be like some kind of fairy tale theme park. That was always my guess for one of them, because one of them was like colonial India, like the British colonies in India. That was another park they had over there. I'm sure there's a medieval park, okay, because that was in the movie, and I think probably a Greek park. So I don't know because apparently I think there were 7 of them. Yeah, HBO shows they tend to jump the shark at season 3. Sopranos was good all the way through, though.
She's like the only lady in this film, isn't she?
That and the woman who's Ramon's obsessed with. Yeah, not a lot of women in this movie. They said that the Italians were trying to get away from the way the women were portrayed in the Hollywood westerns. I can't get into details about. I think the one British guy was complaining it was regressive or something, but I don't know. They make a point that there is a scene in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and a scene in For a Few Dollars More where it has Eastwood in bed with one of the local women, but they said they cut it out later on because they said he's too in control for even that. You know, he's too much of a man for even that, I guess. Oh, this is another one of my favorite scenes when he takes 2 of the cavalry bodies and leaves them in the cemetery. I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah, Seo Leone doesn't speak English, so he couldn't have a direct conversation with Clint Eastwood.
They said that Clint Eastwood fought and won because he said he wanted his character to have fewer lines in the movie. He said that it added to the mystique. Have him say little, okay? I suppose they say most of the time actors fight for more lines. Eastwood was fighting for fewer lines, you know. So,
how do you think this film would do as a silent film?
I don't know. I just took my earbud out, so I'm watching it as one. But I don't know. I think it could work as a silent film. I don't know if any movie could work as a silent film, but I think this one could. Look at this. I don't know much about silent movies. As much of a film buff as I am, I've never delved into those too much. I think part of the problem is I always worry they don't have good masters. I have a couple in my collection. I have The Nook of the North. which was cited as one of the earliest documentaries ever made. Okay. And what else? I'm fan of the opera. I do like Fan of the Opera, the original, the silent version of that.
I think the only silent film I've seen is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that was a long time ago.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I saw Captain of Dr. Caligari. I saw that one. But yeah, several moments in film music history would include Max Steiner's King Kong, Alex North's A Streetcar Named Desire, Ennio Morricone's Fistful of Dollars, the score for a film which would launch him, along with Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood, towards fame and fortune. Oh, just to let everybody know, we're going to be going through each Morricone score chronologically going forward. Okay. So we should be done.
You have fun with that.
About
we'll be 30, like 10 years.
No, it might be longer because it's like weekly. I'm thinking we'll be here till we're in rocking chairs. Oh, can you imagine that? Watching all 500, there's some guy out there that has all 500 Morricone scores. Okay. He got crushed to death by them. Okay,
there's a guy that went through and reviewed all John Williams film scores in chronological order. It took him 2 years.
And Williams. I mean, Williams. He worked steadily, but he wasn't doing no 500. My word.
No.
But yeah, I like this score.
I don't understand why he thinks it's his worst film score. I can't.
I don't know why Tarantino thinks Death Proof is his worst movie. It's still not a bad movie, okay? I like the one track where it goes, I probably just butchered that, but I like how he uses voice, but I don't like it. Maybe we don't need them actually saying anything. Do you understand? But like using the human voice as an instrument, that's not always a bad idea. One Morricone score that I like is one for a Dario Argento giallo called Four Flies on Grey Velvet, where it starts out with this rock band, performing, right? And the interesting thing is instead of lyrics, though, the guy just kind of yells in the microphone. Do you understand? But you can't actually make out what he's saying. Do you understand? But it's neat. All right, look at that.
Oh, man, you stole a man's gun. Man, that's cold.
No, he had a good point, though. He says, you find a man in your wife's bedroom, you might get the wrong idea, might do something about it. You know what I mean? So he's basically saying, look, I'm not here to mess with you. I'm just mess with your wife.
Yeah, Andrew says Steven Spielberg hates Hook. I don't see how you can hate Hook. I know it had a long production history and it was going to be a musical and then it wasn't. And God, that's such an underrated film and that's such an underrated score. It needs a lot more playtime.
Okay. Humor me for a minute here. Is the Hook score this? Da 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 da. That's
part of it. Yeah, that's like a banquet.
Because I know Hook more for the video game that was based on it, and that theme was in the video game.
Yeah.
And they included it in all the Genesis version, Super Nintendo version, and the Sega CD version. They had that music, and that's what I remember it from.
There's a lot of thematic material in Hook. It is just chock full with thematic material.
Well, we can always do Hook someday. I mean, it doesn't always. We don't. This is soundtracks, not necessarily movies, So
that's true.
There's some great movies that may not have the best scores that we may never end up covering on this stream, But like UHF, I don't know that has a great. Well, actually, it has all the Weird Al Yankovic songs in it. That's more of what we call a soundtrack versus a score, right? I mean, that's a different animal.
And
soundtrack. Mm-hmm.
Matthew Flynn's asking if you saw did Django Unchained.
I did.
I have not. Matthew Flynn. I've never seen a Quentin Tarantino movie.
And I have the score to that. Oh, really? Interesting.
I'm not a cool kid. I'm not.
Have you ever seen a Tarantino movie?
He came out when I was in college with Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, I don't think that's for me.
So I was in high
And
school when that came out, and I like senior
yeah, and
year, and
in my mind, you're older than I am, but in reality, you're not. So
well, I just feel old because I'm crabby. Okay, anyway,
Matthew
but
Flynn says he loves Hook. Jedi Masters Utopia says Hook was not a good movie. It had good elements that could have made it good,
I
but
think
it's just
people are
me.
divided on it.
Okay.
It's an odd movie. I argue that Hook is a lot like young Sherlock Holmes, whereas you never imagine Peter Pan as an adult. You never imagine Sherlock Holmes as a teenager.
As a
Okay,
child,
it's
yeah.
like the reverse. Um, but we should do Hook one day. That might be a good score to do, soundtrack to do. But I'm trying to think. What was I just talking about though? Oh, Tarantino movies, dude. I don't know if you'll like them or not, but I love a good Tarantino. Tarantino is one of these directors that I keep wanting to not like and wanting because like he'll say something obnoxious, but I see his movies and like that was a great movie. I'm sorry. Like I think his least one is probably Death Proof, but it's still a good movie. I mean, it's uh yeah, but no, Django Unchained. I have the score to that one too. Why didn't I get the score to Hateful Eight? I should have done that. Maybe the library has it. I don't know because I don't have the score to Hateful Eight. I do have the score to Django Unchained though. It, it's weird though. Actually, is it even a score? Was that an original score by Morricone as well? Django Unchained.
What?
Django Unchained. Did
I'm
that have a
not
score,
sure.
or was that repurposed? See, Tarantino tends, if memory serves, he tends not to have scores for his movies. He'll have a soundtrack. He'll pick out songs to be playing in the movie or music, or he'll take cues from other movies and put them in his movie, which sometimes works. I did not approve of his taking of a track from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for Kill Bill Part 2, though. I thought, no, leave that track in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's the weird thing. How do you feel about repurposing of one film scores and sticking it in another movie? Are you against for or against that? Uh,
I mean, I guess it can be done well, but it would be very difficult to pull off.
it's
Um,
it's yeah. I don't. I tend to disapprove of it. I saw it done well in one movie though, which was odd to me, and it was a movie called The Love Witch, which was kind of a send up of '60s witchcraft movies, and it had a repurpose. There was a repurpose of a Morricone score from The Fifth Chord, and it was repurposed for that movie, a Giallo, and I can't explain why, but it worked for that movie as well. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe it's because that movie was rooted in the same era, the '60s era, as Fifth Chord, or like Fifth Chord is early '70s, but it had kind of that same feel. So maybe that didn't bother me as much. But yeah, I don't know about repurposing scores. But Tarantino's done it. He included a track, I think, from Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and maybe it depends on the score. Maybe some scores lend themselves to being repurposed, and other scores don't. Because I
yeah.
know the guy that did American Horror Story got into big trouble because he repurposed the score, I think, to Vertigo for a few scenes in the first season of American Horror Story. Oh no, it was Psycho, I believe, and I think that one movie, the silent movie that won the Oscar a couple years ago, that repurposed themes from a Hitchcock movie, didn't it? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so Clint
I will
Eastwood.
say this: the cinematography in this film is nice.
Uh,
It's
Italians know their cinematography. Whether you're watching this, whether you're watching one of these creepy horror movies I like, they always do well with the cinematography. And that tends to be why I like movies like this and the movies like even like low budget horror, like lower budget horror movies, because there's a lot of style being used in them, a lot of experimentation in what they would do, like that whole shot with the gun earlier, and then the four guys getting shot. You just see the gun in the forefront, and you see the guys getting shot. Oh, I mean, it's an awesome shot, and it's. So whose side are you on, the Baxters or the Rojas?
I don't really like either one of them all that much. To be
They're
honest.
neither are really good. I think the Rojas are worse, but they're both not good guys. Yeah, like I think the Rojas are more ruthless. I mean, the Baxters are the ones that scared his mule away in the beginning. Remember?
Yeah.
I'd love to reach you. Actually, there are no liner notes in the Fistful of Dollars soundtrack I got. There are no notes on the inside.
I hate it when they don't give me any liner notes.
But to be fair, they would have been in Italian anyway, so it's just as well. They gave me a lot of pictures. Okay, you know.
You know, I just bought this book off eBay.
What's the book?
Drew Strutz, the movie poster artist dude.
Oh,
I did not realize the entire book is in Spanish.
Does it have movie posters in it?
Most
pictures?
all the ones that he's done, yeah.
Well, then you're buying it for the pictures.
And that's what I bought it for, to be honest. I mean,
I actually I got a neat book at a Barnes and Noble once, and you keep me out of a Barnes and Noble, okay? Because I will walk out with something purchased, whether I plan it or not. And this time, I got it's a movie poster book of foreign posters for like American and British releases, okay? It's like the foreign James Bond posters in there, and it's all like the foreign language posters. And I bought a whole big book of it because it's in one of those. It was in one of those in the bargain area. You know where the bargain area is.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're like, oh, this is half off. I must buy it. You know. I remember I worked at a certain chain bookstore years ago, which will go nameless. It wasn't Barnes and Noble, but anyway, I worked at a certain chain bookstore years ago, and they sold this big hardcover book called The Art of Imagination. Okay, and inside this book, it detailed the three big genres of horror, fantasy, and science fiction. I think all the way up to the early 20th century, and just all the milestones from, like, I guess when basically in the inceptions of these genres all the way up into modern day. It was a wonderful reference material book, okay? They even had George R. R. Martin's early Game of Thrones books in there in the fantasy section.
Back when he wrote books?
Yeah, back when he wrote books. But, I mean, the interesting thing about this, though, it had everything in there. So if you were – now we have the internet, but if you wanted a good book that was so comprehensive to find out what came from what and what came from this and who was doing this, it was in this book. And I had the science fiction section was interesting because it ended on kind of a down note. It said, I don't know, though. We're thinking science fiction's in the doldrums because we've arrived at the future and it's the plates are cracked or something, you know, like it's not what we thought it would be, you know. So I had kind of a downer note on science fiction, whereas horror it argued, the guy who wrote the book argued that horror would reinvent itself. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Every time you think it's dead, it comes back. And I think he said that fantasy was going strong. That's how he left it. Heroic fantasy.
To answer a question Andrew raised, Herb Spencer did not work on Hook. Alexander Courage and John Newfield, and wait, there's one more. Greg McRitchie, uncredited. He had 3 orchestrators for Hook. That's insane. But and Matthew Boone's got a book on James Bond posters. I bet that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat. Like I said, some Bond posters in that book. I was tempted to buy a Bond movie poster that had all mini Bond posters on the poster. Then I think Daniel Craig was in the background, okay, and had like all the posters for a Bond movie up to that point. Yeah. I thought about picking that up, but I never did get around to it. To be fair, I have so many movie posters as it is.
I should send you most of mine because they're
no. How many posters do you have on your walls? I tend not to put up a lot of posters.
Well, I mean, I got artwork everywhere. Everywhere.
In storage, I have 2 Renoir prints in frames. Because I used to have my Club Nintendo posters in there. Then I got angry at Nintendo for a while, and I said, I got to get posters to replace these with. And the only thing I could find that fit were the Renoir prints. Of course, now I'm back to liking Nintendo again, so maybe I can switch that around.
This film would really suck pan and scan.
And that's how I watched it in my youth.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you had to. You had no choice.
You had to. Pan and scan was the enemy. I was full on board with DVD. I'm like, yes, give me the original aspect ratio. No more of this pan and scan nonsense. One thing that
like that shot, like right there. If you just pause it, the guy with the hat that was right there, and then like the other two, that would get lost on the TV screen.
Terrible. Sometimes if you had someone who knew what they were doing, they would do the panning. Do you understand what I mean? They would actually pan so you could see the scenes. It's not the same, but sometimes they wouldn't even bother with that. They would just chop it off. Okay.
Yeah, that shot right there. That's a great widescreen shot.
Like this is one of the reasons why I forget the director. Sidney Pollack. Yeah, Sidney Pollack. The director.
That shot
Sidney
right
Pollack.
there. Golly.
Yeah, everything's set for this scope ratio. And Sidney Pollack, after home video came out and he saw how his movies were getting chopped up, he started shooting in the 1:8.5 ratio, the more matted widescreen.
Yeah.
Because he said he has no problem with the full frame aspect ratio, but that's not what I'm shooting my movies in. And I don't like seeing it get chopped up. Because he said a lot of great movies were shot in that full frame ratio, like Casablanca and a lot of the old classic Hollywood movies. But Hollywood went to this widescreen format to compete with television. Okay. It's like, you're just seeing in that dinky square screen. You get a nice big panorama view. This is what's known as scope. It's always listed as 2:3:5, but this is the scope ratio. It's meant to represent the range of the human eye when you're seeing it on a big screen in the movie theater, like your eyes can see everything. Like this is like how your eyes would see something, and I've always taken the more matted, the 1:8.5. I do like that aspect ratio as well. That has kind of a looks like a painting tapestry. If the director knows what he's doing. Okay, so I like both ratios. What? A lot of people prefer the bit wider, yeah, but I don't mind. I've grown to appreciate the 1:8.5 when you get a director that knows what they're doing. Sometimes it can look like have almost a tapestry look to it. Like if you look at a lot, if you look at a lot of famous paintings, they have kind of that look to it. But yes, I can't. Marisol, yeah, okay, Marisol, Mary. They said Leone was laying on pretty thick there, and little Jesus, and I think the dad's name is some version of Joseph. It's like, come on, you're But the point is that the husband can't do anything, or they're going to kill the son. Okay, and his wife's been taken by this really nasty individual because I guess he lost at a game of cards or something, or they said he lost at a game of cards or something. That's what they said.
Yeah, and guys at home, never use your girlfriend, wife, mother, or sister as a
as collateral or something.
As collateral in a poker game.
Oh my word! No, don't do that. I don't know what the story was with this whole thing. Okay. I do know that it sets up something later on where I think that it's one of the few moments where I think the Eastwood character is actually acting heroic because he not only gets the wife away from Rome. I mean, granted, that's part of his strategy, but I don't even know if that's even part of his strategy. I think he's just doing it because he makes a point that one time I saw a woman in your situation and no one was there to help. So I guess he saw something nasty once when he was younger, and he didn't, he couldn't stand by while the same thing was happening again. So he gives the family a lot of money to live off. He must give the family a good amount of money too to live off for a while as well. So he's not completely just about making the money or whatever. And even at the end of the movie, he will not take any of that stolen money that was stolen from the Mexican cavalry. He leaves that behind for the authorities to recover. So he has that going for him. Now he has no problem, taking money from either of these sides. Okay. Get that kid home where he belongs. He's being rather mean. You think he's being mean, but he's really looking out for the safety of the family here. Okay. Get the kid home where he belongs. Look at that. She just walks. No, I'll walk. I'm not getting on the horse. Trying to see if what was the name of that track that just played. That was the big emotional one. Happy little family until trouble comes along. Trouble has the name of Ramon. What do you think of Ramon, Daniel?
I think he gets what's coming to him. He's not what I would call a nice guy. I mean,
no. And I'm going to tell you something. The villain in the next one is worse.
Okay. And that's a few dollars more, right?
For a few dollars more, I think the villain in the next one is worse. And I think it's played by the same actor, too. He's played by the same actor. I hope that was cooked all the way through. Okay. What do you think?
It's not cooked enough for me.
I don't know about that. He just yanked that off. I might have waited for a while. I had barbecue pork over the weekend. I was very happy. Granted, it was at more of a takeout place. I thought it was going to be sit down, and I got banana pudding as well. I got a half rack of ribs from this place. I'm like, is this a half rack? It looks almost like a whole rack. It's at other places, you know. It's like, and they had brisket. Now, I think this is where Eastwood's getting the idea for the armor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Later on.
They do a good job of setting that up.
I'm almost wondering if this is symbolic, though, too. Like, the age of chivalry is dead. Okay? You know, you're in the West
point.
now.
That is
I never even thought about that. Okay, these are bad men. Now, let's look at the Eastwood character. I mean, he's not what we would call a typical hero. I don't know if I would go so far as to maybe say an anti-hero, but maybe he is an anti-hero. I mean, I'm thinking he's setting up these two sides against each other, right?
Yeah. You know, John Wayne said he didn't care for Clint Eastwood's characters.
Did you I don't know if you caught a YouTube video with the old guy saying why John Wayne refused to work with Clint Eastwood, that video? Did you see that one?
I did not.
Okay, I don't know. I gotta subscribe to this guy, and he's basically just he was what was it? He was setting up what do you call it? He was doing High Plains Drifter, and then asked John Wayne if he would like to be in a movie with him, you know, the two of them in a movie together. And John Wayne gave him like a scathing teardown, you know, saying no. Because apparently, I guess John Wayne was old school and he felt Clint Eastwood was ruining the Western hero, you know. To be a very High Plains Drifter, his character is a lot worse than he is in this movie. It might be one of them. But I think it's almost a ghost story in that movie. But okay, so was he fake drinking? Is that what we got the impression from? Or can he just hold his liquor that well?
I think he just hold his liquor that well.
Okay, because the big dude in this, he I think he's in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as well. He plays a Union soldier in that, a really mean Union Army soldier in that. Spoiler, that takes place during the Civil War. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
See, I mean, he gets a little heroic theme because this is very heroic.
Yeah. I think so. Well, I'm going to say this. He does two things in this movie that at least show he has some heroism in him. He saves the family, that really had nothing to do with any of this. So he's
True.
you know, he'll be plenty ruthless to the other bad guys. Like he's not, I mean, he'll want to draw first, but he's not. I have no idea what pathetic dinner they're eating there. Okay, but did you not tell me to go see Mama? Okay, that's right. Why does that man see her when I cannot? What does this guy do for a living? You know, he just watches the kid all day. Maybe the Rojas give him some food to live on to not make the wife upset. It's just. Okay, he's lighting them up. Does fanning work, Daniel? Have you ever tried it?
Does what?
Fanning the gun, fanning the pistol. Bam, bam, bam.
Okay. Oh, hang on a second.
No, don't.
I got something for show and tell. You asked the question about it.
Don't. I don't want you shooting your tablet or something.
I'm not going to shoot it.
Okay. He's got a machete as we call it over here, right? So he's looking for something.
Okay, here we go.
All right, what do you got? Doesn't have a live round in it, does it?
No, yes. And I am checking it just to
double
check.
All right.
No. Okay.
Okay. All right.
This is a Uberti replica of the Cattleman Colt, 18 something or another.
All right.
So half cocked doesn't do anything. You got to cock it all the way to fire. So every time you got to pull it all the way back to shoot this.
Okay. So can you? Which is what?
Can you fan it? Let's try.
What I'm asking you. Okay. You're thinking no.
I'm saying no.
Okay. Well, well, maybe Eastwood has a special gun. Okay.
Maybe if you've done it a lot, maybe you can. Okay. I couldn't.
Oh, here we go.
Just give me my Beretta. I'm happy.
So why'd you do this for us? Because I knew someone like you once, and there was no one there to help. Okay, get moving. Okay.
And that's a very sweet story. I knew someone like you once.
There's not much story there. I just know that basically he witnessed something bad. Maybe when he was a kid, he couldn't do anything about it. And he said, get out of here. Okay. He's not nice. He has a gruff demeanor, but he takes care of the family. Okay. They're out of there. And hopefully they'll be able to, survive and start anew somewhere else. Okay. So, but this is also going to drive Ramon insanely angry, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was right. Quartet Records just released a Good, the Bad, and Ugly. It's a 3 CD set.
I'm fine with the version I got, but maybe that might be something you might want to pick up. I don't know.
2 hours, 52 minutes of music, my friend.
I like my original score. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I'll think about it though. That was the one I grew up with. The one I have on CD. That's the one I have. I used to listen to the LP all the time. Sweet gun, Melissa Harrison's son says.
Oh, this one?
Wait, is this movie referenced in Back to the Future? Matthew Flynn, it is. In the Back to the Future Part 2, you see Biff when he's in his casino tower, he's watching it and he goes, bulletproof vest. Yes, he's referencing the Eastwood character in this. Marty McFly sees that part in the movie, and I believe in Part 3, when he's in the Old West, he duplicates that thing with the bulletproof vest, right? because
Yes.
and that's from an Eastwood movie. But the point is that they made a point that he's watching that scene. He sees that scene of Eastwood getting shot in the background, and then it's a bulletproof vest. So even if Marty McFly hadn't seen that movie before, he saw it in that one moment in that movie, and then he duplicates it in part 3. Yes, this is that movie, which he was probably watching a pan and scan version. Okay, unless he had the Laserdisc version. Laserdisc was a big deal because you would typically get widescreen. What?
That picture or
what is that?
Picture, or that picture?
I don't know.
Andrew's asking. That's Piper Kenneth McKay at Battle of Waterloo. That is the Scottish regiments. That is the Battle of Harlem, where the Black Watch was fought back by George Washington.
Cool.
Top one, yeah. Piper Kenneth McKay at Waterloo.
If I were to describe the posters I have in my sad little room, there is a Pale Rider poster, which is a replica, because I have a Outlaw Josie Wells replica, and I have a 100 Years of the Railroad, Baltimore and Ohio Centennial Pageant, which has 2 railroad men and a big train behind them. Okay, because I guess it was an old poster they made for the celebrating the 100 years of the railroad. Okay, and then the other looks like a Norris picture of a bunch of guys like from the 40s or 50s playing poker, and then there's a femme fatale woman sitting on a couch smoking a cigarette in front of them. Okay, that's my those are my posters. I used to have a poster up for heavy metal, and I had another one up for the Beyond. They went well together, but I'm going Clint Eastwood lately. Okay.
Oh, another thing about these old West guns, they're a pain in the ass to load. You have to look at this. You have to flip this little thing to the side, and you have to load each and every one. And to turn the cylinder, you've got to half cock it back. So these are a pain in the butt to load.
Yeah. I live in Ohio, and yikes, we have tons of trains. Okay, well, that explains why it was a reference on that poster. I have cousins that live in Ohio.
What part?
Dayton area.
Dayton.
Yep. Oh,
yeah. These aren't nice people.
No, he's getting beat up. This is something that happens in these movies too. He'll get the tar kicked out of him for a while. This could be where the R rating comes from. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah,
okay.
Maybe so.
There's some torturous stuff here. Okay.
I mean, definitely not a G rating.
No, I would have given this like a PG. I think PG-13 maybe. Come on. I mean they do put the cigarette out in them. Oh.
Yeah, but you can see worse stuff on FX.
Well, that's the point. I mean, I don't know. It's this whole thing, and of course we have a guy laughing in the background. And I make a point that whenever you have a gang of villains, you always have to have one guy that's laughing. You have to have a laugher. And if you ever watch the movie RoboCop, one of the guys in that is a guy that laughs and cracks jokes a lot when Murphy's getting tortured too. You know,
yeah,
almost a reference to what's going on here.
Either.
No, especially not the unrated version. Have you seen the unrated version?
Oh.
The R-rated version was bad enough, but then you see the unrated version, it's like, oh. And I was probably watching RoboCop around the same time I was watching this movie when I was a kid. So I think I was getting references. Oh, whenever a gang of bad guys, you have to have one that's always doing the horrible laugh. Okay. Oh, look at that guy. He shows up later on too in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He plays somebody else. I told you he plays a soldier in the Union, a nasty officer in the Union Army. All right. He's in bad shape. Okay. And they just leave him here. This will end up being their big mistake. You should have just finished him off. What happened? Did he have a bad hand at poker and now he has to work for them? Is that what that guy was saying? I don't know. Okay, here we go. The gringo is asleep, I imagine. That's all right. I'll enjoy waking him up. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, ow.
Boom. I don't think you have any time. I don't think they had any time to react. Okay. Boom. Big old barrel falls on them. And I can imagine that would have killed them too. That's a bad way to go. I'm sorry.
If not, it would at least like crush your ribs.
Yeah,
That
you're getting
doesn't
internal
sound
bleeding going on.
fun.
They might even not be dead right away. Oh man.
Oh,
It's like having a crate fall on you. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, they're gone. Okay, they're gone. In fact, when I think of this movie, that's another scene that pops in my head is the barrel falling down on the guys. Oh. All right, so he's crawling out. But yeah, I would recommend Tarantino movies to you sometime. I've said this before. Get a public library card, you get access to all sorts of things.
this is true.
You
And
get,
it's like walking distance from my house.
get a library card. You can request books. Even if they don't have the stuff at that library, you can request the stuff get sent there. Get a cheap DVD player, hook it up to a TV, cheap TV. You're all set. Okay. Sometimes though, they're not always in the best shape. You can have time to say, "This needs cleaning." It's like have 100 people watching them, but they have one set in the library called Sartana, which is Lee Van Cleef spaghetti westerns, which I want to check out someday. I think Arrow put out a box set of those too. But I know that they're Blu-rays of these. I'm perfectly happy with my old MGM set. It's weird. I think of my past self, and I'm all about the Blu-rays now. But my past self bought some nice DVD sets. They're both double discs. Includes four movies. Okay, it has Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then it has Duck You Sucker, also known as A Fistful of Dynamite. That doesn't have Eastwood in it. It has James Coburn in it. Though. That's another Sergio Leone Western, which I need to get around to watching one of these days. Miss being a youth, having all this time to watch movies. Probably if I cut out TV shows, I'd have a lot more time to watch movies, and TV tends to not be that good. So it's like...
I haven't watched anything on TV in a very long time.
I don't know. Television is the big thing nowadays, okay? It's going to end up supplanting movies, especially with theaters, if theaters end up going under. But I'm not going to like it as much because probably for the same reason I don't like these novel series that go on forever, where I like short stories or short novels. Brevity is the soul of wit. Okay, Not in the case of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's 4 hours long, but I was watching the documentary on this. They said the average audience in Italy, they would go to the movies twice a week. The average Italian citizen, especially in southern Italy, they didn't have television yet. Okay, they were going to the movies all the time. Okay,
I think this is my favorite track right here.
All right, what's the name of this one?
Oh, I have no idea.
You know what? You said you can't hear the music when I play it through the headphones. Is that right? Maybe I should find out. I don't know. Actually, I can always mute my mic. Actually, wait a minute. What am I doing? I'll just put the earbud back. This
just has such a sense of driving.
I'll put the earbud back in. I'll put the earbud back in. Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, hold on. Let me put it on. I'll put the earbud back in. That way I can hear it. Let me see if that's mentioned. There's the laugher again. Almost Dead brings in the next indelible theme. That's probably not it, though. Hold on. Without Pity focuses on more melodic suspense before exploding into an exciting action finale. Okay, I think that's what this one's called. This also makes me hate Ramon. He's beating up the old guy running the saloon. The saloon, which you pretty much ran out of business, right? Because you ruined the town. Am I wrong?
No, you're pretty right.
For a few dollars more, one of the beginning scenes takes place in a lively saloon. I'm very happy because it's the only point in any of these movies where you get to see a traditional Western saloon. Okay, and is in the sequel, but it's a good scene.
Do they just have? Do you think they did fewer people to save costs?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Think they got fewer townspeople to save costs?
Oh, I'm sure it has to be. But to be fair, that can work too. Because I'm sure you had these deserted towns in the old west, like this is like on the verge of becoming a ghost town. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, except you have these two nasty families. But yeah, this was probably to save cost. But I will say this: when these movies make money, then they put more money into the sequel. So I gave them points for that. Like I said, you can tell they spent more money on For a Few Dollars More. And really, I'm telling you, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's an epic film. Okay, that's an epic.
My
okay?
friend Jonathan, my best friend Jonathan, says that's the finest Western ever made.
I won't argue. There have been other great westerns, though. High Noon, which is an American western made several years before this, is actually pretty gritty in its own right. Stark black and white, Gary Cooper, and it's all like done in real time, like it's on a clock. Okay. Like he's getting married to a Quaker woman, so no more violence. So he's going to give up being a sheriff and become a farmer. But then he notices that his some guy he put away in jail got out of jail, and he's going to be coming into town. He's like, I have to stay behind, to take care of it. And it's like everyone in town, basically, it's all about everyone in town abandoning him, like in his darkest hour. And it's basically ends up being him to take care of business, and him. Or you will be if you don't get me out of here. I like how he's in the coffin. Okay. Now this is the most gritty and ruthless scene in the whole movie. Okay. As much as we don't like the Baxters, they didn't deserve this, right? Am I right?
Probably not.
I mean, this is fairly ruthless. This is not a fair fight. Okay, this is. Let's set the house on fire. It's effective. It gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I kind of look at these are like two crime families, like two rival mafias.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. If we put a love story in here, it could be a show on the CW.
Yeah, there are no love stories in these movies. That's weak. Okay. This is about making the money. I'm a young boy. I don't want the mushy stuff. I want to be the gunslinger making the dollars. Okay. That's I was obsessed with these movies. I got the cowboy hat. And later on, I got the cap guns that came with the Western holsters in a store. I'll spend my allowance on those, and I got the old cowboy guns. And I don't know. I think I borrowed one of my dad's cowboy hats or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna be Eastwood. Okay, I want to be one of these gunslingers like in these movies. The second one is all about the gunslinger. Like I'll be blunt, that's probably where Stephen King got the idea for the gunslinger from these movies. Oh look, I'm surrendering. Hold your fire. We're surrendering. So what are they gonna do? Boom. That's cold. One of them was smart enough to get a shot off at one of the other guys, though. And they're laughing as they do it. That's how evil these guys are. Okay. No, there's no gray area here. These are nasty, evil men. Okay. The way they're laughing while they're doing this, they're enjoying it. Okay, I mean, it's just.
You know, and one thing about back then, the bullets aren't like they are today. They don't expand as when they hit tissue. It's just a metal thing that goes into your body. So it's not a quick kill. Like today you can get shot. It don't. I mean, depending on the bullet, you're just screwed regardless. But back then you could live for quite a while after getting shot.
Well, they make that point in Good the Man. They one of the guys after one of the guys had gotten shot and he couldn't use one of his hands anymore. But you'll find that out later.
And another thing, you can get shot, and that won't kill you, but the infection you get from getting shot will kill you.
Oh yeah. I recommend Rawhide Kid and Two Gun Kid classic pre-woke Marvel Old West comics. Okay, they're probably good. Anyone else watch Tango and Cash? Oh, I like Tango and Cash. That's the Stallone, Kurt Russell team-up movie. Yeah.
AL's in the house. Thank you for dropping by.
Saw Fistful of Fires years ago. I wonder what that is.
Is that like an Asian movie about samurais or ninjas? Oh, dollars. Okay.
Oh, Fistful of Dollars. Oh, you made a mistake. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one. This is like I said, they get better as they go along too. This is a horrible, horrible place to live. Ramon, don't shoot. We're coming out. All right, look. You got my men. Let me take my wife, my son. We'll get out of here, okay? I'll do whatever you like. You promise that? I swear it, Rowan. He's being honest here.
And why would you even trust Ramon at this point?
He doesn't have a choice. I'm imagining there's no way else to get out of the house except for the front, and they're the guys with the guns, okay? He's got to try to talk. It's all he's got. Does he have a gun on him? I don't know. Ramon is a cold SOB. Let's be honest here, okay? Look at that. I think the subtitles just said the one guy was gurgling. Okay. Oh, here's the wife. She's lost everything. She curses them. Like something out of Roman times, I'm going to curse you now, okay? Murderers. They had no guns. Murderers, I hope you rot in hell, I mean, may you and your brothers die spitting blood. Oh, man. Murderers.
Man, you just shot a woman.
Yeah, these are bad men. And I'm going to say that. No, that's a curse. She gave them a curse. I mean, maybe that's just her talking, and maybe it gets fulfilled just by coincidence, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, this is Italy. One of the things I find fascinating about Italy is that they especially in the movies, like the occult isn't something speculative; it just is. Supernatural, preternatural, paranormal. It exists. Okay, you find that in other countries too, except well. I think in the United States you find it at both ends of the economic line. The very wealthy believe in it, and the very poor believe in it, and everybody else in between, they're too enlightened to believe in it. But okay. Now here we have, this is the scene of him making a bulletproof vest, right?
Yeah.
Is this as good as Kevlar? Do you have any Kevlar, Daniel?
Kevlar costs money. And the thing about a bulletproof vest, just because it stops the bullet, that's a lot of force that you get hit with. And it can crack a rib. It can rupture blood vessels. It can stop your heart. Just because you've got on body armor doesn't mean you may stop the bullet, but you can still die. People, it's not like it is on TV. People don't realize that. Even with steel plate, that's a lot of force hitting you. I mean, you've been in a car wreck, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like sore as hell the next couple days because of
Uh-huh.
all the force your body took from the hit.
He's doing the fanning again. Yeah, good movie. I like it. We get a little bit of exposition here. It's like, oh, he'll never talk. You know, the old man will never talk, and he's over there and like he's having to explain everything that's going on with the Eastwood character. You know, it's not bad though. I mean, you know, sometimes you need exposition, right?
Yeah, and he is kind of like in hiding, so he's not gonna. He's got to have
He's not going to know what's going on, so he's getting. Can you give me the report of what's going on out there? He's a stubborn man. Dude,
I can kind of do it, just not.
you may have to, man. You got the four guys in front of you. Bam, bam, bam. At some point, we're watching Dirty Harry.
We'll have to do a Dirty Harry month. Was there 4 films or 5?
There are 5 Dirty Harry movies. We don't have to do all 5, but we'll see. Well, we could. They have scores to all of them. They vary. I have like a CD that has tracks from 1, 2, and 4 on it because I got a different guy to score 3 because I think the guy had another commitment on that one. But Dirty Harry's good. Dirty Harry does not make San Francisco look good though. But I guess that goes with the territory. Is that dynamite?
I will say I'm glad I'm not in San Francisco now.
I'm glad I'm not in a lot of places now. I'm in Florida right now. Got a good governor. Oh man, they're going to give us smoke, right? Still lots of light. Okay. You know what? F you, Ramon. You just stuck the burned end in his mouth. This is where you get the R rating from, I bet. Okay. Come on. All right. And then you hit him across with the shotgun. You know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't like to ruin the rifle. I'll never get another one. Yeah, you and your stupid rifle. You really like that rifle, don't you? Oh, here we go. Here's the whip. Okay. Nope. I want these guys to die so badly. I'm sorry. You had some really evil people in a lot of Italian movies, okay? It's like...
Are they bad or are they just misunderstood?
No, there's no misunderstanding. No, this is how... No,
they're anti-heroes. They're just...
they're not
trapped in socioeconomic traps.
Well, here's the problem too, and this is a problem too. And like I said, the professor would probably be more of an expert on this than me, but the whole idea of the anti-hero, I find that people tend to now are throwing the anti-hero line on villains. Okay, no, okay, and there are different degrees of villains, yes, but I'm sorry, no. Like I would argue the Clint Eastwood character in this, I would be what I might call a classic anti-hero. Okay. Because he's
really not a good guy.
He's not really a good guy, but he's not. But you're still rooting for him. He's not nearly as bad as these guys. And I will argue that in the way he is resetting balance to this horrible community. Okay. But he is. I want to say he is kind of in it for the money, but then he doesn't take the stolen money, so he won't go there. Okay, so he has some kind of code he follows. Okay,
That shot right there with the boots, that's a great shot.
yeah, there are a lot of great shots. You're gonna love the sequels too when we get to them. Oh man, for a few dollars more. For a few dollars more starts out. It's all about the bounty killer. So I always assume the character from this, he's figuring out how to make money. He's like, oh, I'm just going to go around and get the bad guys dead or alive. Okay. There's some really horrible bad guys. Like the whole first part of the movie is you see two bounty hunters, and one of them is played by Clint Eastwood, the other's by Lee Van Cleef. Okay. And I think they're both after the same bounty. Do you understand? Which is this criminal and his nasty gang. Look, shoots him, goes down. And I'm seeing this, and I'm wondering what's going on here. But I think we do see him making the armor earlier, right?
Yeah.
How is he getting up? I imagine, though, you get hit like that, though, you're still hurting, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's going to hurt.
You shoot to kill, you better hit the heart. Your own words, Ramon. He's probably wondering, what is this guy, a specter?
And he could have gotten shot as long as you're not hitting a vital organ. Lived for a while. It would just hurt.
Look at Ramon's eyebrow. It looks like he got cut there, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the actor, or if that was makeup they applied to the actor, but they have him shave off part of his eyebrow to make it look like he had a what's known like maybe a dueling scar, maybe.
Yeah.
That's why they make you wear those masks, during the duels. DC ruined Harley Quinn. Yes, well, and they won't let the new Harley Quinn go. That's part of the problem. They keep trying to sell it to us. All right, drop the armor.
He's still outnumbered here. I mean, let's.
Have I played Fallout New Vegas for a little bit? I do own it. My brother was big into that game, yeah. But I heard was that like the last good Fallout game they made? I don't know. Man with a pistol's a dead man. What do you think?
Depends how good of a shot you are.
Yep. Oh, let me see if music's playing during this scene. Hold on. Put the earbuds back in.
All I hear is wind.
Yeah, I guess there isn't in this scene. In the next one, when they have another one of these scenes, there is music playing. In fact, in the next two.
Now we get some music coming in.
Okay. Look at that. What's he doing? What's going on with him? Is he gonna spit up some blood? I have to tell you, watching this movie, I will say this: what a waste! All this.
He gets the most dramatic death.
He does. I mean, just.
And the camera work spinning around like a point of view shot is
That was brilliant, actually. Like you're actually seeing it through his eyes.
Yeah.
Look. Is this the guy that was laughing with pointing the gun, I think, right now? I think that's the laugher. Yeah, saloon owner gets him. Now, this is known as the Man with No Name trilogy, okay? People have also argued, but he has names in all three of the movies, okay? Like in this movie, he's called Joe. Now, to be fair, maybe they just called him that because they didn't know what his name was. We'll just call you Joe. That's a good American name, okay? I don't know. You know, listen, Joe. Listen, Joe. I have a question though. He's going to bury all these men. Is he excited about all the money he's going to get? Who's going to pay him? Everyone's dead.
I wouldn't pay him anything. I just leave them where they are.
If the crows get him, you know?
They'll eventually disintegrate. You know, hey, it's.
I that's what I'm thinking. There's no one left in this town. It's the saloon owner, the bell ringer, and the mortician. Okay, I guess they can get together on Saturday nights and play gin rummy or something. I don't know. I mean, but there's no one here. Well, I guess your government will be glad to see that gold back. Okay. And you don't want to be here when they get it, do you? And he's like, oh, yeah, what is he? You mean the Mexican government on one side and maybe the Americans on the other side and me right smack in the middle? Yes, I know. No, maybe get out of there. Too dangerous. Speak Spanish. What do you say? Adios or something? Or
Adios.
Well, okay, yes. Is that his donkey? Or is that just a horse? Oh, he's taking one of their horses. Might as well, right? Okay. Or I guess maybe he got another horse in some point in the movie. I don't remember. Okay. All right, here we got the end credits. The shortest of the three. I think for a few goes in the 2.5 hour range. Okay. This is under 2 hours.
I like the chorus here. I just don't like the we can fight thing at the start.
That bugs you?
Yeah.
Maybe you just got to get used to it, dude. We can fight. We can fight. We can win or something, you know. Come on. You know, it's supposed to get you revved up, you know. You're going to stop the bad guys. The end. Released through United Artists, not through MGM. So why is MGM stuck on the front? I don't know. Okay.
They probably acquired it.
I know they acquired it, but okay, there we got the MGM line again. Okay, roar away.
And it's got like no credits at the end.
Good movie though. What'd you think, huh?
Yeah.
You like it? Solid Western.
Like
I would say it's good, not great, but good, and good is good enough. Okay, as long as the movie's good, I'm fine. Okay. Not everything can be great. I understand this. I do expect competency and I expect it to be good. Okay. That's all I want. We don't get that a lot these days. Okay.
No,
you know?
We don't.
At some point, we are going to do Beverly Hills Cop as well. Okay. That's the electronic score. I don't know. Well, what's our next movie going to be, dude? I guess it's your turn, right? You going to try for Harry Potter again, or is our weather reporter, fearless weather reporter, still in the thick of it out there? Probably.
I think still got stuff going on at work.
Gotcha. All right. What do you want to do next? You want to think about it? You don't have to answer right now. We should have to chat chat bring up a movie.
Chat, bring up a movie. Chat, all knowing
Age
chat.
where Fallout 4 was okay. I mentioned New Vegas because the game has a Western vibe to it. Oh yeah, I played a bit of it. Yeah, like I said, it's gotten good write-ups. I own it too. I just haven't gotten around to getting back into it. See, I had a PlayStation 3 that generation as my main console, and the trouble is that the Bethesda games tend to be quite glitchy on there because they were really utilized to work with PC and Xbox 360. I suppose I could rebuy it on the Xbox One, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to think of good Western games. I guess there's always Red Dead Redemption. That was a big one, but like I said, I like Sunset Riders back in the day. Every time you shoot a guy, you go, oh. So you'd hear that sound effect over and over again. But they cut out the cabaret girls from the Super Nintendo version. Oh no, they kept the cabaret girls. They cut out the ladies of the hour were not in the Super Nintendo version. If you catch my drift. Okay. All right. Good night, Melissa.
Good night, Melissa. Thank you for coming by, as always.
You want to call tonight? I don't know. I'm trying to think if we can come up with a movie. Just Back to the Future.
I've been awake since like 3 o'clock this morning. Back to the Future, the first one.
Do you have the score to that one?
Yeah, I got the complete score.
Who did the score to Back to the Future?
Alan Silvestri, 1, 2, and 3.
That might be one to do sometime. Maybe Back to the Future. I don't know. Think about it.
Big Al is signed on to do Conan 1 and 2.
Do you want to do Conan next week?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait?
That's not. How long is Conan?
I don't think
like
it's
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I'll find it. I don't think it's that long. Conan Barbarian. I have the director's cut, but there's not much added to it.
And that's an entirely different movie when you watch it not on TBS, because they cut out some stuff.
yeah, they cut out a lot.
Yeah, I never, because I always saw it on TBS growing up, and then when the professor did the rewatch, I'm like, oh wow, this is a lot different from the TBS version.
Is that what he used to watch it on? Okay.
Yeah, I'd never seen like the original cut of the film.
129 minutes, 2 hours, 9 minutes.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Well, you can think about it. You can think of it. You want to do Conan next week? It's up to you. See if Al can make it. See if Al can make it. Okay. But I'm a big fan, and I've read a lot of the Conan fiction too, as I was mentioning on the Professor's stream the other week. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I was watching some Conan books on eBay for your birthday present.
What?
There was a first edition Conan something I was watching, but
you know who would like that actually? Because I have my nice Dark Horse editions, but I bet the Professor would get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Conan books are good. I'm trying to think though. I don't know. All right. So let's see what else is going on here.
You've got a show Sunday night?
What?
You got a show Sunday night?
Yeah, I got a show Sunday night, and I think Troy and I are going to be doing something on Friday. We're going to be doing we're doing a rewatch of Dracula Untold, because we want to see where things kind of went wrong with it. That's a movie I'm very mixed on, because I was sad because they did some things so right. That's why it's crushing the things they did wrong, because it was a good concept on paper. Okay.
It's got a pretty interesting film score.
Okay, cool. Well, you're welcome to stop by if you have time. I mean, I don't know, he might be letting people jump in and out too. If you want to talk about the score.
Yeah.
Probably have you on. All right, but I think that's it for me tonight. Do you have anything left to say?
Thank you, everyone, for coming by, as always, either now or in the future time. And adopt, don't shop, everyone. Have a good night. Keep listening to those great film scores. Thank y'all.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.